Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, 9 p.m., and it's time for class. I am Renata. If you don't know me, I'm an English teacher, and I have been one for the last 15 years, and I'm here to help you take your English from okay, leave that okay English behind, and enter the world that very, very, very few people actually speak, fluently. That universe where 5% of Brazilians, 2% of Brazilians actually are in. So to join me tonight for the class that you asked for is my partner, MC, all the way from Canada. Let's say hi to her. Hey, Deborah! Now you're here. Yay! How about joining us? Hi, MC.
Hey, it's so connecting over here. I hope it's not my connection. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, now you are moving.
Hey, how are you, partner? And welcome everyone. Like Hanata was saying, I'm her partner and I'm representing you here as well. We want to take your English to the English that your career demands. And oops, sorry, what
Let's
happened?
just go filterless. It's because I was trying to remove the wow. Jesus. I just want a regular nothing. Okay.
I like
Okay.
this one. I can choose one filter for myself as well because I'm doing peeling. So,
I like this one. I like this one. Okay.
mhm.
So the lesson that you asked for. Why is the title of our class the lesson that you asked for? Not you asked, that you ask for. We
Mm.
want to know tonight what you want to learn and the questions that you have. Anything that is always hammering in the back of your head and you can't really understand and you wish you had someone, to help you with. We are those people because our friend Zuckerberg has provided us with a 3, 4 camera possibility. So we want to invite you to ask permission to join us, talk to us, chat with us, ask us questions, and get feedback, get live feedback, or just get your question answered live with us tonight. Don't be shy. I can open the possibility of questions, written questions in the chat. You can feel free and ask those questions as well. But what we really, really want is to see you and interact with you live. There are so many amazing students here, people that follow us and that are joining our class. And we would really, really love to help you, like live. Now we have that possibility. We didn't used to have that. It was either me by myself, inviting you over or MC. And now both of us are here and we can invite a third person in and even a
Mm.
fourth person. So what
And
is it? Go ahead.
by the way, some people might be shy because they might be thinking, I'm not camera ready, and that's okay because to be honest, I'm not neither. And we can all be part of this regardless of that, okay? That fear that everybody's going to be judging what I'm wearing. I don't have makeup on or things like that. Leave that behind.
Or
This is not the time, not the
or
place.
you're in your pajamas. Who is it?
Who
Who is it?
cares?
So, that question, that problem, that grammar topic, that vocabulary issue, that boring theme that you just can't seem to learn and to control, or anything polemical like, why, Renata, why does English have to be this way? Sometimes I just hate English. I just hate it because it doesn't cooperate with me. Why are there so many exceptions? Anything that you would like to ask us, just go ahead and do it. In case you were wondering how you can do it, there are buttons that can be pressed. But if you don't know exactly how to, leave it in the comments here as well, all right? So think of a question. What would you ask? Free class here, free question and answers, free consulting. It's not every day that you can get free service, right?
Enjoy,
Free
yeah.
live service. So it's something that we would really like, love to help you with. Let's see here if we have any questions. Not yet. One thing that I was telling our students tonight about prepositions was
Mm.
actually something funny that I say about prepositions, which is Um, Convince yourself that you like them. Repeat the mantra. I love prepositions every day in the morning. I love prepositions. Repeat that until you believe it. Because like other topics, like I said before, if you have a question about why is this like this? Why does it have to be so hard? Why are there so many exceptions? I'll be happy to help you, you know, in your anger moment. But in terms of prepositions, one thing that I tell my students, you know, that I tell our students in the course is that prepositions are not something for you to try to figure out too much, to overthink. You know, overthinking prepositions and trying to understand every situation, trying to get the logic of every little thing every time you see it, will get you to spend too much energy on something that's not that, you know, that thinkable. It's not something that you can overthink. It's something for you to get, to use, to learn how to combine through practice, and then just love it for what it is. Love it for what it is. I compared, oh, I see some questions here. Juju and Aline, you are welcome to join us live too. Just press the button. Maybe I can invite you. If you want to say yes, you can.
Yeah, the button is saying send the request to being Fluent for Reals live video. So this is the button. As soon as you join, that's gonna be all the way across the screen. And then if you miss it, just go back and scroll in a way that you're gonna find it. Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, so about preposition, just to wrap this, you know how like when a soccer player is practicing, they will go from the very simple movement of a kick all the way to strategy, all the way to how are we going to play tactics. So I consider prepositions, even though they are small, but they're fundamental. You know, they're fundamental in the sense that they're like that kick. You don't overthink the kick. You practice the kick. You practice the kick over and over again. You're not going to go, how am I going to kick this? Like this now, like that? No, just do it. To give yourself time to think of the tactics, to think of the stuff that's actually going to change your game. So don't overthink prepositions. They are fundamental, but they are not overthinkable. Just take them for what they are, okay? I'll skip this time. Thank you, though. Okay, Juju, we'll be waiting for you next time then, all right? Let me respond the questions then. We have a question here. The first one was from Juju RN. How can one better learn phrasal verbs? First of all, I love that question. How can one better learn phrasal verbs? In case you don't know, leave your like, hit the little heart here. I forgot to say that. Leave your little piece of, you know, love for us to make this live more meaningful on Instagram and make Instagram like us. How can someone better learn phrasal verbs? It is a very elevated way to say, instead of saying, how can someone, you just say one. How can one learn phrasal verbs better? Wow, Juju and Aline also asked about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are the bane of our existence as Latin speakers because they don't make sense most of the time, and it's not like you can associate with Portuguese. You really have to learn the meaning, and it's a little tough because of that. The first thing I would like to tell you about phrasal verbs is that if you don't relate that expression, that phrasal verb, to something that is meaningful to you, you won't learn it. And that's not just for phrasal verbs, it's for vocabulary in general. It's very easy to learn the verb eat. It's something you do every single day of your life, many times a day. But if it's a situation or a word that you don't use that often, you will forget it. So if you get the example from the dictionary and you go, oh, okay, to run into, what is that? Oh, run into, to meet someone by accident. Okay, great, I got it. All right. in your life. Who do you run into? Where do you run into people? Why do you run into? How do you feel when you run into people? Using the WH questions helps you associate with meaningful things to you. So ask yourself, who? In that case, you run into someone. So asking what would make sense. Who? Well, I don't know about you, MC. I'm going to ask you then. When you think of running into someone, who do you run into? What do you think of, or who do you think of?
I usually run into a random person on the street that is part of my past. So let's say an old friend or somebody that I'm not used to see on my daily routine, and then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, can you believe who I ran into?"
Mm-hmm. And usually, how does that happen?
Randomly.
Absolutely. And what are you wearing? Like how, like your spirit, usually there's a whole context, right? Usually when
Yeah,
you're not dressed up, usually when you are, your hair is like that, and you need to go out, you run into someone from the past, you're like, oh, I wish I looked a little better to meet this person.
that's true. And but now everybody has a COVID look, so it's fine.
It's fine. The world has changed, right?
Hmm.
How? Where? You said in the street.
On
Maybe
the
you can be more
streets,
specific.
in the supermarket, that's
All
another
right.
possibility as well. Grocery store, places that we're going right now, it's basically that, right?
Yeah, in BH, if you live in BH, in the southern region of BH, you go to Vegmar, you will run into someone at
Oh
Vegmar,
yeah.
the supermarket. So meaningful. All right. So I always run into old friends or old acquaintances at the supermarket when I'm not looking looking my best, I would say. So see, that sentence made it meaningful to me. So when I need to remember what is that word again, I will think of run into. Only in my head? No, I write it down. I make my own dictionary. That's another tip, Juju. Making your own dictionary. No, you don't have to know all the words in the world actively. You don't have to. Who knows all the words in a language? You don't know that in Portuguese. There are so many words in Portuguese that you only understand and read and other people use, but they're not part of your active vocabulary, right? So it's not necessary. What matters to you? What expressions do you miss sometimes, or do you see that you need at work, and that the words are missing when you're trying to communicate? You know what? This phrasal verb actually helps me a lot. So get that phrasal verb, make your own little dictionary of phrasal verbs with meaningful sentences. How do you build them? Think of the WHs. I run into, who do I run into? Where do I run into them? How, maybe, when? Thinking of the situations that will give you the whole scenario to help you remember the meaning. Leave your little like, hit the heart, la la la. And Lini is asking, phrasal verbs are used in formal language at work. MC, I'll leave that question to you. Are phrasal verbs used
Okay.
in formal language at work?
Yes, every single day, in every meeting, every interaction, in every situation. There are phrasal verbs that are more formal, others informal, but you don't have formal connections all the time at work. So you need them to communicate regardless of what you're doing. If you're if you're leading a meeting, if you're presenting something, it is a must.
Leave your questions. Leave your questions. If you just walked in, if you joined the live now, what do you want to know? Leave your little heart as well. And just to compliment, to compliment, MC lives in Canada. If you don't know, she lives and works in Canada at a managing position. So she knows what she's talking about way more than me. I mean, I know from the teacher point of view, but she actually lives that. So I totally agree. As a teacher, when I teach phrasal verbs, I always point out the usage. If like, it's a tool, you have to know what to use that tool for, when to use that tool. If you're using phrasal verbs in weird, and inappropriate situations, it might backfire. You have the vocabulary, but it's actually working against you. So yeah, phrasal verbs can be informal or formal, just like verbs. I can use a verb or an adjective that's very informal, and on the other hand, describe something like cool. That's informal. Fantastic. That is a little more, to the formal side. So it's just like anything else. Okay, could you teach us some methods to pronounce some difficult words in English? Think about this, please. So Jihlei Chris .jw. Of course I could. There are actually a lot of pronunciation classes here on IGTV. A lot of topics. ED, the TH, final M, final N. What else? Can't remember anymore. But I think that the best method to study by yourself, like to sit down, study. I'm gonna improve my pronunciation, right? Right. First of all, record yourself speaking and listen to yourself speaking. That hashtag awareness is one of the pillars here at Fluent for Real. Hashtag awareness. That myth that only a private teacher, only a private class is going to save your English. That is a myth. No, many people learn beautifully, speak beautiful English without having private lessons. What the private lesson gives you is more feedback from the teacher. If you can construct that feedback on your own, listening to yourself, you fly miles, because the teacher is limited, and the feedback from the teacher can bounce like a ball. The teacher gives you the feedback, you don't listen, you don't believe that, you forget, boop, boop, and your money and your time go down the drain. So what actually matters is your awareness. You can do it on your own, or your teacher can give you feedback, and you are absolutely on when you are receiving that feedback. You want to change. You make a point of changing. You are aware of your mistake. That's right, teacher. I see that. And the best exercise for that is self-listening, is listening to yourself speak English. How many times have I done that to students, and they immediately, right after they listen, they go, oh, I said that? I can't believe I said that. That's wrong. No, this verb is not it's are. So see, when you listen to yourself, it's a whole other, reaction, and that awareness is raised 100 times up, 100 times more.
And we have here, oh, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
But I was just going to say that the first step would be recording yourself, create a WhatsApp group with yourself. That's very easy to do. You don't even have to download, any apps or keep them stored in an app. Use WhatsApp for that. Record yourself, listen to yourself. Read texts that are also spoken. Like there is a TED video with a text, so you can listen to your role model, and then you read what the role model said, and then you listen to yourself comparing to the model. Make sure that you can get a podcast or a video or a news article, like on VOA Learning. We talk about VOA every now and then. VOA Learning, Voice of America. They have daily articles, text and audio. So you will be able to have a role model to compare yourself to. Read, listen to yourself, listen to the model. What is not right? What is wrong? What is different? That would be a first step. If maybe I could give, if I could think of a class to talk about that. Okay, Jilay? If you guys like that idea, hit the heart. I want to see the hearts going up. Leave it in the comments. It could be an idea of a class for a class. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, MC, you were going to say something. Hi,
so two things here. One is if you have any specific questions about specific words that you struggle with, let us know here, right on the comments, because this is important for us to understand if we have a class that we can recommend you, or if it's an idea for a new class. So this is something important. I have my own struggles. For example, brewery or entrepreneurship, those are words that I struggle with, and just to mention a few. Another thing that I was going to comment on was that we have gold diggers here. And by gold diggers, we call our students that way. We have them saying that they confirm that that tip that you're giving really helps. So this is another important thing for everyone to know, like, trust us and go and learn.
Yes, it does. It does help. Hi, Ju. Good night, my future teachers. Hi, Juliana. Welcome. Paula, I love your tips. Thank you so much, Paula. Hashtag awareness, Layla. Awareness. I would it's something that really it's a sore point for me, because I have seen many students study privately and not listen to feedback and not take that as something to, you know what, this is the last time the teacher tells me about that. It's okay to make mistakes more than one time, guys. It's not a problem at all. But you know what I mean? Like, really making the effort to change. So it's not, what I mean is, private classes are not necessarily the solution. The solution is in you. The combination of a great class, great input, practice, and feedback, straight to the point, and awareness. That's what you need. All right. Raíssa said she studies English by herself, but it's hard sometimes because she can't have feedback. So, Raíssa, choosing role models from the internet, videos, people that you know speak great English, can be a way to get there. This live stream, we are inviting you to join, Raíssa. This is your chance to talk to us and to get feedback. Come on. Just press the button there, scroll down, go back to the beginning of the comments. You will see the button. How about that? Joining us live tonight. The name of the app, it's VOA Learning. Let me spell here, VOA Learn. I have to check, I'll post later, because there's more than one. I'll post later. I always recommend that app. It's called Voice of America. I think it's a radio station, and they have like a website focused on teaching English. Hi, Guilherme, welcome. And on that website, they have daily articles where there's always someone reading the text, and you can change the speed of the audio, which means if it's too fast for you, slow down. If it starts getting easy, speed it up, because you should never practice in your comfort zone. You should always push yourself a little bit further than your comfort zone. Talk about English. It will be a stress language, rhythm of the language. What do you mean, Maya? Is it like intonation?
That's what I understood.
Talk about how English is a stress language, the rhythm of the language. Okay. Yes, English does have, every language has its own melody. I say that, like, when you are watching a movie, even if you don't speak the language, you can recognize someone speaking French, like, right? The sound, the melody. Italian, the melody of the language is something we can pick up easily. So yes, English has its own rhythm, intonation. Actually, I think we have a class about intonation as well. We do. We have a class about intonation. Questions, WH questions, and yes or no questions. And is that, MC, would you say that that's one of the first things that native speakers pick up?
I don't know. I need to ask them. I guess they understand that there's that, and also pronunciation. I guess pronunciation, because you can have the right intonation, but if you mispronounce something here and there, they're going to notice that you have an accent. They might not understand where you're from, but they pick up. Yep.
Yeah, I use an analogy to talk about intonation and pronunciation. Oh yeah, I remember. Intonation is the recipe. Let's say that you're cooking a cake. Intonation is the cake itself. If you get all the ingredients in the right order, it works pretty well. What are the ingredients? Each word is one ingredient. So you may have the correct words, but if they are pronounced incorrectly, it would be the same as switching the order of the ingredients. So you I don't know, you choose to put the eggs last and they're supposed to be the first. So if you get the pronunciation wrong, even if your intonation is correct, something will be off. You won't be understood as well. Something will be wrong, something will be clearly off. So that analogy is nice. Work on your pronunciation first, and then you worry about your intonation, which is the melody of the, I mean, not first. You don't have to only work on one and then work on the other. That's not what I mean. What I mean is pronunciation is more complex. There are more things to study. Intonation is easier to grasp, I think, with exposure. But pronunciation, it requires mechanical movements, learning new movements with your lips, with your tongue. So it might be a little more complicated, and it might require more energy from you. And it's communication breakdown. Communication breakdown. Intonation doesn't interfere in your communication as much. Definitely not as much. It interferes in, how like, ooh, my English is really cool, really like almost native or really fluent. And I speak just like them, but it does have pronunciation. You pay a higher price for bad pronunciation, wrong pronunciation, you know what I mean? Questions, send them our way. Leave the little like, hit the heart to make this live stream more relevant, and ask your question. What do you want to know? What do you want to share? What do you hate about English? What do you love about English? We can comment on that too. There are some things that I don't like, I don't have to love the entire English language and every single thing about it to be a teacher. There's some things that I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I know it's not easy. And I also ask myself, why? Why, God, why? Couldn't it be easier for my students to learn?
There's a TikTok showing like a weird or words that a person was very mad about or mad at. I need to share that with you. I don't know if I did before.
You did the subtlety?
I
The
don't
guy.
know. Is that like he's mentioning words, and also he has a TikTok on names that don't make any sense. Sean is one of them, like the way you write and pronounce like Sean, or it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm gonna share that with you if we can. We were gonna post that here for you. Not
I
even
did see.
native speakers love everything about the language. Just
Yeah.
give yourself a rest, yeah.
Yeah, what do you hate about Portuguese? There are a lot of things about Portuguese that we don't understand and
Woo!
we don't like. And, like silent letters. Why put the letter if it's not going to be pronounced? It's not functional, and then you're like, why silent letter? So we do have that. We have a question here from Maísa. Thanks for answering me. No worries, no problem. Count on us. Be our guest. Rafinha is asking, how can I practice speaking by myself? Rafinha, this could also become a whole lesson, speaking by yourself. But one tip that I have, to give you is we underestimate the power of our voice. And we only believe, most of us only believe that we should speak when we are talking to someone else. As if the only way to practice English is to speak to someone else. And we underestimate the power, for example, of learning through speaking. Learning the grammar topic, learning the phrasal verb through speaking. Tip, when you do a grammar exercise, finish that grammar exercise Read the sentences out loud again and try to play with that. If someone said that to you, what would you ask that person? You know, make that sentence into an interrogative sentence. Transform that sentence into a plural. You know, changing the subject, changing the verb, and test yourself. So maybe you have a full, beautiful grammar exercise that you're doing. You have your grammar book, you know, you have your quiz online that you found, and it dies there. And it could become some kind of speaking practice. You could be using that, speaking out loud, and helping your brain memorize. We learn so much through teaching others. We learn so much through explaining things to others. We learn so much not just because we are connecting ideas and recalling things. Who watched the class about recalling? I talked about the technique, the memory ability to recall, which is much more powerful than just recognizing. So recalling the information is one amazing ability that you use when you're teaching, but also the power of speech. When you speak and you listen to yourself, you speak, you put things out there. So phrasal verbs, you're studying, you have your own dictionary. Great. Stop, read those sentences out loud again. Study through speaking. You will improve your pronunciation, you will be more courageous. You will gain confidence, you know, because you are speaking more, getting used to your own voice in English, to speaking English, you know. And so start from there, okay, Rafinha? That is one tip, the power of speaking, not just talking to someone, but using your voice. Ice is asking about the pronunciation of the word world,
Oh, world, yeah.
Hi, Kat,
Pearl.
how
Try
are
to
you?
say
Hi, Fabi.
Pearl. Name your
Yes.
kid Earl.
Okay, Earl. Okay, so let's say here, Raíssa, I have a tip for you, okay? Everyone follow my lead. First you say were, just like the verb to be in the past. Repeat with me, MC2 and everyone else. Were,
Were.
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 All right. Now when you read it, there is an R and there's an L. The problem is when you say it, you get really confused because it's two consonants that I can barely pronounce together. So include a vowel in the middle. Now you will go, oh. Repeat with me, oh.
Oh.
Roll that L. It's not like owl. It's oh.
Oh.
Oh. Were, oh.
Were. Oh.
World.
World.
A little faster now. World.
Oh my God. World.
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 Faster. World.
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 The
Now,
whole world.
word lost all meaning.
I love it when that happens. Today, preposition 4 lost all meaning. I was preparing a class. 4, lost all meaning. I love that. Okay, so did it help, Raíssa? Practice more. It's not going to come like that. But remember, world. Okay, include that little vowel to help you roll the
World.
R and then roll the L. As well.
Earl.
Pearl. Earl.
Curl.
Earl.
Earl.
World. Swirl.
Earl. Swirl.
I ran out of words. You have one more question here, Niziani, our dear Niziani, always with
Let's
us.
go to the last question. I'll be your timekeeper here.
Oh, that's right. Last question then. Leave your heart, leave your little like. If you want more questions like that, send us a DM. More classes like that. Okay, Niziani, same writing, different pronunciation. Live versus live, read versus read. Oh, it's just a comment. Yeah, Niziani, you hate that about English? But remember, manga, 2 words with the same spelling, different meanings. Sometimes the spelling is the same, the pronunciation is different. Sometimes the spelling is different, the pronunciation is the same. Sometimes, you know what I mean. So every language has their manga, manga the fruit, manga da camisa, or nada nada, nada swim, nada nothing, you know. But yeah, we are allowed to hate those and to be you know, spiteful about those things. Wow, Juliana is sharing her goal here. My biggest goal is to get an English fluency, to be fluent, and to be hired by Emirates and fly through the world, throughout the world, or to fly worldwide. Okay, then you don't need through, Juliana. To fly worldwide, wide, no L, one word, worldwide. Pearl is very difficult, yes. I learned to say like world. Yeah, exactly, Romero. Exactly. So world. But everything together, the first syllable is stressed. World. And the old dies. World. All right. Francinette, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I think that's it. You love to eat, sleep. Blessed, the best class in the world. Thank you, Lamos. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, you are still very shy. We would love to really, you know, invite you over to the class. The point of our class tonight was to invite you. We'll keep trying.
Next time, we'll try again.
Next time,
class.
We'll go ahead and invite them, MC. We'll just press the button here and invite everyone. And then if you hit the button by accident, your camera will open. You want to kill us.
Oh my God, anyway, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for coming, for joining us, you know, tonight as every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Brazil time. Be here next week as well. We have different classes, different topics every week. Leave your suggestion, you know, in the comments or DM us a suggestion. And thank you for joining us. Thank you, partner.
Thank you. It was great spending time with you here today. I hope you have learned a lot, and we'll see you again next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Brazil time or 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Brazil, Canada. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.